Welcome to Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions to better health and wellness through intentional living. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. And thank you for joining me on another episode of Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions to better health and wellness. And I'm your host, Marsha. Now, today is an interesting topic that I felt I needed to discuss. But before we get into that, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Of course, you know, I always have a quote, and quote is always usually related to the topic. All right, today's quote: overcoming abuse doesn't just happen. It takes positive steps every day. Let today be the day you start to move forward, by Assunta Harris. Okay, I think that's by Assunta Harris. All right, so that leads me into today's topic: domestic violence, right? Shattering silence and love and lies of abuse. All right, so I know you've heard all in the news recently and seen it, the newscast related to Sean Diddy Combs and his ex, Cassie Ventura, right? And it was a very shocking, disturbing video to see. I'm not showing it here on my channel. I don't want to show it. But if you haven't seen so already, CNN has released a video pertaining. This video was taken back, I believe, back in 2016 at a hotel, that's now resurfacing and was released by CNN. It shows Cassie leaving the hotel room. She was wearing a hoodie and she was leaving. I guess she was trying to disguise herself. And Sean Diddy Combs, he came out of the hotel room in his towel, went to pursue Cassie and grabbed her and threw her down on the floor. I think in the video it showed where he hit her in the back of the head, grabbed her, threw her on the floor, and began to kick her and drag her. That was quite disturbing, very disturbing indeed. So I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone, right? But I want to say this: love is not supposed to hurt, okay? Love is not supposed to be abusive, right? Whether it's verbal or physical, emotional abuse. That is not love. How many times have women or people in general mistaken this type of behavior for love, right? It is not love. It is abuse. No matter what you say or what you try to do to sugarcoat it, right? It is what it is. I mean, it's clear, plain as day, right? Now, according to the report, they're saying that that this happened in 2016. So the statute of limitations for assault charges cannot be brought against him, right? But it's so brave. And so I know that when all of this stuff first happened, right, people were saying that she did it for money. She was just trying to, or her husband forced her into it so that she can get paid, or she's just lying so she can get a payout, whatever, all these different stories. For some reason, why is it the survivor, I don't want to say the victim, why is it the survivor is always painted in the bad light? Because people don't believe. People in power or that we look up to, or that's a celebrity, we put them in these high level platforms in high regard, like they can do no wrong, when we know that can be nothing further from the truth, right? And there are people in power who believe that because of their status and money, wealth, and political connections, that they can just, their behavior, and they can do things and get away with it. right? And so it is brave of Cassie to have come forward on all of this, right? And even then when it happened, again, like I said, people did not believe. There was people saying all kind of things, right? But now you have evidence, right, on video where you can clearly see it is Sean Diddy Combs, right, or Sean Love Combs, who's actually legally changed his middle name to Love. But anyway, I'm not sure what love he's on, right? But yes, again, let me say this. I know this was in 2016, right? But different series of people, different people who have encountered being either in a relationship with this man or being around this man has talked about his temper, right? And some even fear him due to, again, his connections and things that he can do, right? But at some point, guess what? At some point, the truth must be revealed, right? No matter how long it takes, the truth must come to light. And so it is coming to the light now. It's coming to the light. You cannot do things and conduct certain behavior and feel that you can get away with it. Now, if people are saying that, and I don't want to make this about Sean Combs at all, right? I don't want to make it about him at all because it's not about him, right? This topic is on the topic of domestic violence, but I'm using him as an example because this is now this high profile case that's being talked about, right? All of this stuff that's going on with him right now. So that's why I'm using it as an example. But you can't do things and think that you can get away with it. And then the thing about it is, we know that this stuff goes on, right? Not just in Hollywood with celebrities and politicians, regular, everyday people like you and I, everyday, common people like you and me, right? That go through domestic violence, that you can see, you can look at a couple and think that they're so happy, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We just don't know, right? We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And so when we talk about domestic violence, first of all, let's go ahead and define what domestic violence is. Okay, so domestic violence can be defined by behavior, right? A type of a negative behavior in any relationship that's used to gain or to maintain control over another, right? Through manipulation, through some form of control. And so this abuse can be either physical, it can be either sexual, emotional, economical, and psychological, right? And we know that how many times you may have encountered, or you yourself may have experienced being in a domestic violence situation. I know I have in the past, right? I have, and I can admit that in my younger years, being in a domestic violence situation, in an abusive relationship, okay? And when I finally decided to let it go and to let it end, I was able to move on, okay? I was able to move on, but not without that emotional damage that happens, right? And I had to go through my own healing, right? My own journey, my own wellness journey, my own healing. And so this is why this is an important topic for me today that I want to talk about. Love is not supposed to hurt, right? Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is kind. Love is gentle. Love is giving. It's unconditional, right? It has no conditions. It just is. It is the highest level of experience of the human connection that we can experience, okay, is love. And love is not abuse. Love is not being physical, right? Love is not being emotionally abusive, physically abusive, etc. That is not love. We confuse love, we confuse abuse with love, right? And so there are different types of, what I meant to say was there's signs that you can tell if a person is going through some type of domestic violence, right? Some type of domestic violence. What are some of those signs for someone who is being domestic violence? Isolation, right? That person who is doing the abuse, the abuser, wants to keep the survivor away from friends, family, and friends, right? They are pretty much sheltered. They can't do anything. They can't go anywhere. It's torture, basically, and physical signs, right? Physical signs, wearing long sleeves, in hot weather, covering up, covering your neck, covering up your face, covering up your eye, wearing sunglasses indoors. Okay. Now, emotional and psychological signs: fear of the partner, anxiety, and hypervigilant, always on the lookout because you're so afraid. You're in this fear mode. Low self-esteem, self-worth. You feel unworthy, right? Again, as I mentioned, withdrawal from family and friends and isolation, which you can then turn into depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts, because some may feel that the only way for them to escape is to just die, right? Because they're too afraid to leave, because afraid of being caught and found, the fear of what would happen to them if they were to get caught by their abuser. Now, some behavioral signs. Now, the abuser will exert some extreme control over the victim, right? Or shall I say survivor? But at that moment, they are the victim.
If you are struggling with health issues like chronic pain, being held back by past traumas, or feeling overwhelmed and hopeless, please know there is hope. There is help. Transcendence, a woman's guide to healing and self-love for better health, happiness, and abundance, is a blueprint to help you get your life back and reclaim your health. Within its pages, you'll learn how to elevate your existence by shifting your mindset toward the positive, focusing your energy on what's really important, using gratitude to feel deep appreciation, changing your gene expression through epigenetics, building resilience, and living in a state of flow, feeling love overflow within. Go beyond an ordinary life. Transcend. Buy it now.
Now, again, controlling where they may go, who they may see, checking in all the time, right? Excessive calling and text, demanding to know where the person is all the time, right? Disruption, maybe at their work, showing up at their work unexpected, financial control over the other person's finances, restricting them from their own access to their own money, okay? Running up debt in the victim's name, right? Through credit cards or whatever. Even maybe preventing them from working. They may have the excuse of, they don't want anybody looking at them, or they may say, oh, I just want you to be a stay-at-home mom so that I can take care of you, It can be as subtle as that, all right? Sexual abuse, forcing sexual acts, okay? Forcing, coercing, or forcing sexual acts, degrading treatment and sexual context, right? And we know, based on the court documents, from Cassie Ventura's statement in court documents, that she was forced to commit sexual acts with other people as he watched, okay? But she was afraid, and we can clearly see why, right? We can clearly see why. There was definitely abuse there, and it wasn't just with her. it was others that he dated as well. Maybe not every single one, but other people have came out as well on this same matter concerning abuse. All right. Use of threats or intimidation. All right. Threatening to harm the victim or their loved ones, right? Or even their pets. Threatening to self-harm to prevent the victim from leaving, right? Claiming, there's abuse in different ways, okay? Threatening to do harm to themselves so that person can stay in the abusive relationship. Destruction of property, damaging or destroying the person's belongings, right? And violence directed at objects in a form of intimidation, throwing objects, punching holes in the wall, right? Some of these things I can say I experienced, right? Some of these things I could say that I have experienced, right? Threatening, gesturing, punching walls, doing crazy things, doing this type of stuff. This is not love, right? This is not love. All right. Do not confuse abuse with love. Do not confuse it. All right. And if you are in a domestic violence situation, and be brave, Cassie speaking out opened the doors for other people to have the courage to stand up. Let's not just accuse someone and thinks that everyone wants a payday, okay? That everyone wants a payday. There's also a woman who, from the shooting that happened, I forget what year it was. I think at that time, P. Diddy, he was dating J-Lo at the time, where they went somewhere. And the girl says she saw him with the gun, right? But somebody else took the rap for it. Okay. So powerful people, can do things and manipulate things and think they can maintain control, but it doesn't last forever. Okay. It doesn't last forever. Like Cat Williams said, all lies will be exposed. Can I say that again? I'm going to say it again. All lies will be exposed. And so when we see some people walking down the street and that seems to be in a happy relationship and seems to be happy, right? That may not be the case, right? That may not be the case. It could be. And if so, that's wonderful. But you can tell when someone has dominance and control over another. Just look at the body language. Body language says it all. It says it all. So again, I want to say what Cat Williams says, all lies will be exposed in 2024, right? So these people in high places that think that they are untouchable, they are going to get what is rightfully deserved to them, right? So I want to encourage people, if not, don't listen to me, people who I've experienced domestic violence, right? But people who have experienced dealing with people who has a lot of power, right? And the ability to abuse their power, to place fear in other people so that they don't speak up, right? Speak up, use your voice. Do not remain in silence. Don't stay silent. If you are in a domestic abuse situation, there is help for you. All right. And I wanted to put the number on the screen, somewhere on the screen, but there is definitely help for you. And one of those numbers, there's a national helpline, and I want to give you that number, 1-800-799-SAFE, right? 1-800-799-SAFE. And the letters SAFE represents the numbers 7233. All right. There's emergency services that you can contact. Again, a domestic hotline. There's even chat lines that you can call. I'm going to make sure I have all of that stuff in the description. You can get legal assistance if you are someone who is in a domestic violence situation and you need to get away. There is assistance where you can start a new life, a new chapter. You can illegally have your name changed and you cannot be located. All of your information is kept private, okay? There's counseling and support available, support groups, medical care that you can receive, online resources and mobile apps. I talked about the 24-hour, the 24/7. There's also a text site that you can, not a text app or something that you can send and speak to someone that way through text. Social services, right? Government and nonprofit organizations can help with housing, financial support, and access to other necessary services, all right? The only way that things will change, you will need to make change. You will need to decide that you no longer want to be in this abusive relationship, okay? Love is not supposed to be toxic, all right? And you have to think, if you are someone with children, you don't stay in a toxic relationship because for your children. That's the worst thing you could do, okay? That's the worst thing you could do, because now they are witnessing this violence. They are witnessing this, and it can have more damaging effects than you leaving, okay? All right, so I just wanted to put that out there. Listen, I'm no expert in domestic violence. I'm someone who actually experienced it and been through domestic violence, right? Been through abuse, but I'm telling you, nothing changes unless you decide to change. You can come out of it, okay? You can come out of it. You don't want to go to work with black eyes and wearing shades indoors, okay? Having a cracked, chipped tooth, all right? Swollen face, bruises on your arms and legs and wherever else is unacceptable in any matter, whether it is a woman doing that to a man or a man doing it to a woman, because abuse can happen from both sexes, right? Men get abused also, right? Believe it or not, men get abused also. It is unacceptable. And a person should leave that toxic situation alone and move forward. You know, you say to yourself, well, I love this person, but I love him, but I know he's a good person or she's a good person, but she loves me. Well, they need help. Love yourself more. That's my advice that I would give to you. Love yourself more and get away from that toxic relationship, because it serves you no purpose and it's only hindering you from your true purpose and success. Move forward, let go, and let it flow. Move forward. Again, I'll leave information in the description as far as resources. But if you need to reach out and you just want to have someone to talk to and listen to, you can reach to be heard. You can reach out to me. I'm on Instagram. You can reach out to me. I'll leave the description with the link and everything below. But I just wanted to touch on this because it's such a topic that people want to stay away from. You know, it's a topic that, you know, it's like the victim, the survivor is the one that gets all the backlash, even through like from rape and things like that. Like they are the ones that did something wrong, you know, and that could be nothing but further from the truth. Okay. And so it is time that we use our voices to empower us, to empower ourselves, right? And be a support to our sisters, right? To our other friends and family who you know may be experiencing domestic violence. Now, you can't force anyone to leave out of that situation. They have to want to do it for themselves, right? Because we know there's a term for it, and I forget, for those who choose to stay. And sadly, the situation gets worse and can sometimes even be deadly. All right. I definitely don't want that for any of you. I want you to be strong, take a stand, use your voice. Like Cassie did, use your voice and take a stand. And who cares about people, the naysayers who may, not support you in what you are doing, or they feel like, you are trying to harm their family or a family member, because sometimes you'll get slack from the abuser's family as well, right? No support from them, even though they know the character of their family member, even though they know that. All right. So it's not about them. It's all about you. Empower yourself. Use your voice. Speak up. Tell someone. Until next time, I want you to stay healthy and stay well. Bye for now.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Health Coach for Women with Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.